Howdy friends, and welcome back to Toy Box Nostalgia. In tonight's video we're going to be taking a super duper close look at the tiny world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Funko.
Toy box dreams tonight. Memories unlocked. Unboxed. Toy box dreams for life. Memories unboxed. Toy box nostalgia.
Thank you so much for joining me this evening, my friends. We're going to be taking a close look at an entire sewer layer diorama for the Bitty Pop line by Funko for the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We'll also be unboxing and taking a close look at this version of Leonardo and the Turtle Van. And finally, we'll be unboxing and taking a close look at 3 boxes of the Bitty Pop versions of Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Little tiny Funko Pop versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I bought these at Target and they were just open. I don't know why. I peeped inside of them before buying them. Everything is there. I don't know why they're open. They were all like this, so... If you're new to Toy Box Nostalgia, you'd love to see more unboxing content like this show up into your YouTube newsfeed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. And please let me know in the comments below, do you have these? And if you do, how did you display them? Do you have some fun toy photographs of them? If you do, I'd love to see them. Please give me some handles. Thank you again so much for joining me this evening, my friends. Let's just dive right in. Okay, my friends, so here's everything we're going to be unboxing and taking a close look at tonight. We do have a giant sewer layer here. And it does, look at that, it does come with some Bitty Pops there. It looks like we have Leonardo and we have Michelangelo. That's nice. We also have 3 boxes of Bitty Pops here to open. Well, they actually were already open, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. And we also have the Leonardo and Turtle Van to open up and take a close look at. So we're actually going to start with these, and then we're going to change the camera angle a little bit so that we could do this piece. So let's just start with Leonardo and the Turtle Van, my friends. Take a look at this packaging, right? It is black and it has green splashes all over it. It looks very early 1990s to me. Very cool. We have the Funko logo all over the place. It says Bitty Pop exclusive included. I'm guessing that is the promotional colorway version of Leonardo that we see right here. Up here at the top left says Bitty Pop Rides, and we do have a clear window here so we can see the stuff inside. It says Leonardo and Turtle Van on the top here, and then over here at the bottom right it says Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's a bunch of warnings on the bottom. On the right side, take a look at that, my friends. Promotional colorway versions of Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello. And then on the back, we can see that we can actually put the Bitty Pop turtle inside of the vehicle. It goes up through the bottom, it looks like. That's kind of cool. Can't wait to test that out. Up here at the top right, we have that Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo we all fell in love with as kids. And then over here on the back, you can actually see Leonardo in the Turtle Van. That is really cool, actually. So I'm guessing the top is just open for the Bitty Pop to go up inside of there. And that's it, my friends. Very standard, straightforward packaging. Let's go ahead and get the contents out. Inside the box, we have nothing but raw cardboard. And here's everything else that you get in the package right here. It's in a bubble. We do get the Bitty Pop, and it looks like it's in a small Funko Pop style box. And then over here on the right, you can see the Turtle Van. It does have a gigantic hole through the center to push the Bitty Pop through the bottom. You can see this is PET, so it is in fact recyclable. And finally, here's everything outside of the package, my friends. Let's start by taking a close look at the Turtle Van. Take a look at those details. I believe this is all hard plastic. It feels like hard plastic to me. It could be vinyl. I'm not sure. But you can see that the details for this version of the Turtle Van kind of match what we saw in the cartoon, which is nice. I love seeing cartoon renditions of action figures and vehicles and such in toy form. And we can see at the top here, we have those 2 pew-pews, and then we have the blue windshield right there, the blue windows on the sides. Over here on the passenger side, we have a blue window. Then over here on the driver's side, we have that pattern right there of those 4 blocks that we typically saw on the Turtle Van in the cartoon. And we have wheels that don't articulate. They don't move. As you can see, it's just kind of like part of the plastic right there. That's a little bit unfortunate, but so on the front, it looks like we have a turtle shell shaped sewer lid, and we have some details in the teeth and the mouth there. And you can see that the headlights kind of look like eyes. This is rad. I think this is awesome. We do have that massive wing on the top, and we have that really cool turtle shell pattern on the top, like on the roof also, that we used to see top of the turtle van from the cartoon. And then on the back, we do have doors on the back of the van. We have two rear lights, brake lights, tail lights, whatever you want to call them. On the bottom, we have a bunch of words, Funko LLC 2024. And there's a giant hole here, so we can put the figure inside there, right? The figure packaging has really odd printing on it. It doesn't look the best in person, as you could probably see the reflection there, those lines. It's very grainy looking and kind of blurry, like you can't really read the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo at the top there, and it kind of looks like it's from the 2012 cartoon, as far as the logo looks. On the top right, left, it says Bitty Pop. On the top right, it says number 5. And then it says Leonardo down here, and there's some words underneath there, vinyl figure maybe. Can't really make them out or read them. They're just really blurry. And then on the side here, you can see there's the picture. This really just kind of looks like a Funko Pop box to me. On the back, you can see there's a storm drain sewer lid pattern, and then we have the Ninja Turtles logo right there. It says Nickelodeon at the bottom left, and you can see the Funko Pop there. On the top, yeah, this like really looks like a Funko Pop box to me. On the bottom, there's nothing because that's actually part of the figure. So here's an example of a Funko Pop box. You've probably seen these before. Everyone has seen these before. I just figured I'd show one off, you know, just to, you know, show that this really, really resembles that. And I think that's definitely what Funko was going for. Just making little tiny mini Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles world, right? So let's go ahead and get him out of this package, and you can see that he is definitely just part of the crystal clear base, the clear plastic base. Yep, and we could take a look at his details. So again, this Leonardo is in the promotional bright green colorway that we saw in promotional stuff back in the 1980s. Like anything that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles licensed always had this color for all of the turtles, whereas the turtles themselves actually had different shades in the cartoon and in the toys. So this Leonardo is holding a piece of pizza, and that's really all he's doing. He's just standing there holding a piece of pizza. He has a blue bandana on, two big black eyes. They look like shark eyes. You could very faintly see the L on his belt going across his waist. Yeah, take a look at that. That's kind of cool. And then, yeah, he's just got his feet, and his hand is down to his side. Flipping over to the back, you can see he does have two ninja swords that are sheathed into his belt. And that's it, my friends. That is all of the details. You can see his teeth. They were sculpted individually. You can see there's lines there, but at the same time, it's all just painted white. And there's a tiny bit of paint slop on the bandana. It doesn't look like it actually goes over the eyes, on the tops of the eyes, but that's okay, considering how small this is. This is tiny. As far as the action feature goes, this is the only action feature I know of for this, but I'm guessing he just goes inside here like this. And it just, yeah, look at that. Just stays in with pressure. And now we have our Leonardo rides in the turtle van. And yeah, I gotta admit, that looks really cool. I really like that. All right, so into our first box right here. Taking a look at the box, this packaging matches that we just saw on the Leonardo and Turtle Van packaging, where it is black and has green specks pretty much all over it, and looks very early 1990s to me. Over here on the left, I don't know who approved this. This is white, the Funko logo on yellow, and it's barely visible. And then it says Bitty Display Shelf included. It comes with a shelf, I guess? I don't know. I've never actually opened one of these before. It says Bitty Pop really big in the front and center here. And then up here at the top right says Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It says this is a 4-pack. There's a mystery pop inside, and then the window you can see 3 of them. 3 of the 4. I guess this one is the reason why kids are opening these up in Target. Flipping over to the back up here at the top left says Nickelodeon, and then again Funko, Bitty Pop. You can actually read Funko this time. We have Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles without the Nickelodeon part right there, and then we have what looks like the entire roster of this Bitty Pop set, my friends. And then over here, I guess the shelves are stackable and you can just stack them together. And then it says download the Funko app. It doesn't even say please, it just tells you to. And then over here on the side, we have a nice shot of Donatello. That's cool. I'm hoping I get Donatello. And then down here on the bottom, here is the barcode in case you need it, scan, track, and more, my friends. A lot of other information. So let's go ahead and open this up, this pre-opened package, and pull the bubble out. Inside is nothing but raw cardboard, my friends. And then here's what I see in the bubble. So this, I'm guessing this is the shelf that was mentioned on the front of the box. Super sharp, razor sharp Funko logo on the top, and it's like acrylic or something. It's just, it kind of looks like, You know, something my wife would have on her vanity to like hold makeup or something. It's really neat looking. And then we can see right here our four, actually our three. Yeah, it's just a bubble with these in it. I don't know why somebody took the time to open this but didn't take this off. Oh, because you could see on the top. Duh. But you can see there's an alligator with a red hat, and we all know that that is Leatherhead, my friends. And then down here at the right says Funko. Okay, so to open these, I guess you just tear this little piece of plastic off of here, and that is in fact Leatherhead. Yay! So I'm guessing this was the secret one that I was supposed to get out of the four. The rest are Splinter, Raphael, Rocksteady, and then again Leatherhead. That's kind of rad. All right, let's dive into the next set here. This one is probably my favorite, just by looking at it, because I have Donatello, and we have Baxter Stockman. Shredder, that's just rad. So let's open the pre-opened box, and then looking at this one, you can see, oh, look at that. Wow, that is really jacked up. No wonder why the person that opened this didn't want it. Look how jacked up that is. Oh, you can just slide it out too, duh. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. But we can see we got Bebop. And the top's printed really bad, but everything else looks okay. Well, I love this Bebop. He's so tiny looking. I can't wait to get these out of here. But again, for the rest, we have Baxter Stockman in his fly form. We have Donatello, and we have Shredder. Wow, that Shredder looks really cool. Really like the design. And again, like I mentioned before, we do get this Funko plastic acrylic shelf thing to put these into. I guess they just slide right in. They stay in? Yeah. Kind of loose fit, but I guess if you wanted to display them this way, you can. And I think the box also said that these kind of like snap together somehow. Yikes. No, they're just stackable. And you just, yeah, you could stack them, and there's like, it's keyed a little bit, but that's really it. Nothing really snaps together, but still kind of a cool idea, I guess, if you wanted to display them this way. And finally, for our last box, let's go ahead and open the pre-opened box. Out of here. And let's see what this one is, because this is the fun one, right? Hey, we got another Bebop. No difference, except the top of this one is printed much better. You can see that where the one on the left is really bad. But that sucks that I got two of the same. Over here on the right, we have April O'Neil. She looks awesome. And then we have Michelangelo, and then we have Leonardo. Okay, so far we have 13 of the Bitty Pop figures open. We got 3 boxes of 4, and then we had Leonardo from the Funko Bitty Pop rides. And next up is the gigantic sewer layer, which also looks like it's a giant Funko Pop box, right? So for presentation, I think Funko absolutely nailed it. I think this looks gorgeous. I love how it looks very cartoonish, and there's a massive, gigantic window wraps around to the right side, so you can see every single room inside of the diorama. I think that's my favorite room, just from staring at this. I actually took some time and stared at this, and I gotta say, that one, that's neat. I like that. Like, I would make that my computer room. Down here at the bottom left, we have what looks like the entire set closed up, and you can see it does in fact resemble a Funko Pop box, but it says Bitty Pop at the top, and we have Leonardo there. We'll take a much closer look at that once we get this out, but the packaging up here is really fun. We have Funko in that baby blue color on the top left, says Bitty Pop, Bitty Box right here, and then you can see obviously the giant diorama. Inside there in the bubble, we see we have Michelangelo and Leonardo, 2 extra Bitty Pops, which brings us up to 15 so far in this video, and then says sewer layer at the bottom. Says 1 piece for the sewer layer, 2 pieces for the 2 Bitty Pops. Down here at the bottom right says Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and again it's black with green speckles throughout. I love the bright lime green. I think that's awesome. And then up here at the top, the window actually goes up to the top. And what's really cool about that is, if you have this on display in the box, which I think you could do, I'll test that out for you to show you. But you could shine light straight down and have that top lighting going on inside your diorama if you want to put the pieces in there. I'm hoping that works out because that would be cool. And then we see at the top, on the left, Leonardo, on the right, Michelangelo. Flipping over to the back, we can see a nice toy shot of the diorama itself. It says actual size Bitty Pop box. So I'm guessing what they mean to say is that when this closes, this diorama. It's the same exact size as a Funko Pop box, and again, we'll do some comparisons, take a close look at that. Over here on the right, you can see it closed up, and then it's opened, and then someone's playing with it. It's fully open. It says Pop open to display, and it says 2 bitty pops included. We knew that already. Very cool. Up here says the sewer layer directly in the center. There we go, Pop display case, and then over here on the right, Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's it, my friends. Flipping over to the bottom, there's a whole mess of words and warnings and such, and here's the barcode in case you need it. I pre-ordered this from Amazon. I just got it a couple of days ago. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this open. Ah, nice. Look how everything slides out nice and neat. Maybe the box is reusable. Inside of the box, you can see we have this super high gloss purple cardboard, and you can see that they put some ooze back there on the back side of it. You can see it over there too. Very cool. The bottom is just purple. Flipping over to the back is just raw cardboard and a giant bubble. There's a big bubble inside of here. I'm not sure how I could get this out while preserving the package. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, you just kind of give it a little tug, right? Ah, look at that. I broke it right there. So that's unfortunate. Maybe the packaging isn't reusable. Maybe it is, and I'm just an idiot. I don't know. I tried my best to get it out carefully, but yeah, like this right here, to get these guys out, the bubble stretches completely over the top there, so you're gonna have to pull this off. I guess maybe you can. I just kind of like pulled this part up in the middle and just slid these out, and see if I can put them back. Yeah, there you go. You can actually put them back, and it doesn't look too bad. I didn't like rip anything to do that. On the back here, you see the ooze that stretches all the way across and starts at the top and is dripping down that nice super high gloss purple cardboard in the background. That's really it, my friends. So here's everything we're getting inside of this package, my friends. Again, we get 2 bitty pops. We get Leonardo and Michelangelo. And taking a look at over here, I do have 2 Leonardos now, and I do have another Michelangelo, but you can see that the one that we unboxed earlier is different. These resemble the toys. They have white eyes, and you can see the colors completely different. Like this guy, this Donatello, he has black eyes also, and yeah, here's the comparison of the Leonardos right here. You can see that, yeah, they're like kind of completely different. The print on these looks good from all sides. Very nice. And then again on the bottom, there's nothing on the bottom because that's technically part of the figure itself. And then finally we get the sewer diorama, which folds up to resemble a Funko Pop box. Here is another Funko Pop box for reference. You can see that they're pretty much exactly the same size. This is a tad smaller, maybe 1 millimeter smaller in height and maybe 1 millimeter wider than an actual Funko Pop box. But yeah, I mean, it's so close. Who's gonna know? And I bet this would actually fit in some sort of Funko Pop protector, you know, that people make to put these into. That would actually be really rad. The overall design of this, from a design perspective, is just so much fun. Like, this is a fantastic idea. And if you know me from the channel, I'm a huge fan of dioramas, so this captured my heart immediately as soon as I saw it, and it's Ninja Turtles, right? All right, so let's close this up and take a close look at the diorama package. I don't even know how to word that. So at the top, we see Bitty Pop, Bitty Box. It says Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you can, in fact, get it to line up the words properly, and then we have that crown right there from Funko, and we can see on the left here, we have Leonardo in that, you know, Playmates toy version form. Down here says Sewer Layer vinyl figure, and then flipping over to this side says Sewer Layer, Bitty Pop, Bitty Box. On the back, exactly the same thing, and on this side says Sewer Layer. And just like a regular Funko Pop box, the window stretches over to the left side of it, so you can see over there. But look how much fun this is. This is a ridiculous, this is like Polly Pocket, but Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Funko. Well, let's go room by room, right? This one up here, we have like a sewer pipe at the top and graffiti TMNT. And you can tell it's just a font. Look at the T's are exactly the same. Down here, we have a yellow barrel. I'm guessing might hold garbage or ooze. And then this looks like a practice room because there's like a dummy version of Shredder with a bullseye on his chest, you know, to practice with your ninja weapons. There are ninja weapons on the wall. And we can see on the top there are 2 swords. On the left, in the middle, we have 2 nunchucks for Michelangelo. On the right, we have 2 sai for Raphael. And at the bottom, that big brown thing is the bow staff for Donatello. And then taking a look at the floor, there's just a bunch of foam mats. I'm guessing this is where they do their training right here. And then down here at the bottom, this is my favorite room. This is so cool. We have printed pipes on the walls, and we have a biohazard symbol on one of the pipes. We have a wanted, do not approach poster, like a wanted poster of Bebop on the wall. And then take a close look at those bricks. Like, look at the colors that they chose for the bricks. I think that's a lot of fun. Instead of that drab yellow color that we normally see in the sewer layer, like in the cartoon and from other toy manufacturers, I think Funko, again, just captures that essence, that early 1990s, late 1980s essence of just fun, cartoon fun. On the back wall at the bottom right, we have an open sewer and it's spewing ooze into the room, but you could tell it's just vinyl. And the bottom, like the floors of these, everything is, I think, like a paper sticker. These are just stickers inside of here, by the way. And I think the walls are too. They're not really printed on there. But the wall does stretch over to the far left side. And you can see that there is a storm drain where the ooze is, I guess, draining into. And there's a bone and a bunch of bubbles on the floor. And that is awesome. That's my favorite room of them all so far. At the top right, we have a very plain room. I don't think this is for anything, to be honest with you. You can see all the printed sewer pipes all over the walls and the ceiling. There's an NYC sticker right there and some ooze coming down. And then we have this open sewer pipe hole on the floor, which leads down to the kitchen, right? But not really, because they turned it into a shelf. Yeah. So don't throw anything down there because it's going to knock the food off the shelf, right? On the sewer pipe itself, it's printed. It's not a sticker. There's yellow ooze dripping down from it. We have 2 barrels of ooze back there, plastic yellow, and the sticker on the floor with an absolutely gigantic ICRI like ooze canister. It's cracked open and spilling ooze on the floor and some newspapers. And yeah, just look at that print right there. It's so cool. Like in the back wall over here. And the bricks, I love in the color of the bricks. We have a foot logo sticker right there. I don't know why they would put that on the wall. But yeah, can you see that orange in there? It's supposed to be like, it's in here too. It's like cracked cement, you know, and you could see it really prominently here. You always saw that in the cartoon, but it was gray in color. And again, these colors that Funko chose are just so, I don't know, appealing to me. Like, it's this like brain harmony or something. It's mashing up with nostalgia and all kinds of stuff going on in my brain. Very exciting. So here's the kitchen, right? This side of the kitchen, there's a open sewer pipe, but it doesn't go anywhere. As you can see right here, it's just, I don't know where that goes. So this ooze in here is really close to the kitchen. I don't think this would pass like some sort of health inspection, but take a look at the floor. There's pizza all over the floor and ooze just pretty much everywhere. There's dirt, cracked sidewalk, it looks like, the cement on the floor. And then there's an open drain. That's so nasty. And then we have this piece right here looks like it's one piece. Even the paper towels, it looks like one big piece of vinyl or plastic, which constitutes the cabinets at the top. The microwave that you see here, the sink, the counter, the pizza box, the stove, and then 4 drawers and 2 under cabinets. They're like not even under the sink. How does that work? How does this drawer go in there with the sink? I don't know. We're not thinking about that right now. And then we have the paper towels, as you see here. They're ripped at the bottom. We do have some pans on the wall, and we have some caution tape. That's normal. It says this way, so you can go this way, but it doesn't go anywhere. So they're just there to trick you, right? So that is the kitchen. Over here on the right, it says Mikey was here, W-U-Z. And then we have that sewer pipe that was turned into a shelf. That's pretty cool. Okay, so finally, we have the living room, my friends. And I love this rug right here. We have 2 kind of Nintendo-ish looking controllers, but they kind of look like the knockoff stuff that you buy on Amazon. And then we have the TV with the book. It's sitting on the books, of course. We have April O'Neil on the TV with breaking news from Channel 6, of course. Over here on the left, we have a Rocksteady wanted do not approach sign. I love the brick colors again. We have that. This is like straight up from the cartoon for me. We have the pink couch, like the Homer Simpson's couch that we saw in the cartoon. This TMNT pipe right here stretches into the living room, goes into the back wall. Again, we have that orange colored cement back there. We have more yellow pipes at the top right. And here we have what looks like a sewer entrance or shelf or kind of nook, I guess, because it looks like there's padding right there so you can sit in there, and then there's something on a TV, and then there's wires hanging down. I'm not sure what that is. We have ooze on the floor. That's kind of cool. We have a fresh pizza box right there. Yeah, just loads of fun little details. We do have the stop sign and the framed picture that was on the wall in the cartoon, the exit sign. Everything is there. I'm very happy with how this diorama turned out. I think this is a lot of fun. One thing I'm noticing, though, is that I don't think the scale of the Bitty Pops is matching what I'm seeing in my hand, though. Because these guys are like super duper tiny. Let's just go ahead and just kind of plant them right here in front of the couch. Actually, no. The kitchen is where it's super apparent. Look, he can't even see over the counter. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe he should have been like, I don't know, an inch and a quarter tall, maybe? Or maybe make this smaller. But if they made this smaller, they would have to make more rooms, right? Because again, this is supposed to resemble, once it's all closed up, the size of a Funko Pop box. But that's okay. You know, this is all cartoon. This is all fun. And again, this is a diorama, which is awesome, by the way. So next up, what I'm going to do is go through each one of the Bitty Pops that I received and show you a close-up shot of those. And yeah, again, this is everything that I got so far. I'm not sure how much more of this stuff I'm going to collect, to be honest with you. I was just very interested in the diorama. Not sure if I'm going to like try as hard as I can to get every single one of these because I didn't even check right now, but I would just bet like $50 that some of these are going for $50. So yeah, this stuff is the aftermarket cost of this stuff. It's not necessarily scalper. It's truly just aftermarket and demand, low supply rather, and demand. All right, so let's take a close look at some of these Bitty Pops. Okay, my friends, let's go ahead and just give this a try. Let's play with it, right? Alright, so I'm going to start with the living room. So the sofa isn't facing the TV. That's okay. I'm going to put Splinter in here. He's watching April O'Neil. She's on TV and she has like a blue background. So I'm going to put her up here on street level because my background is kind of blue. And maybe she's being filmed. Maybe she's on the scene, right? Speaking of street level, let's go ahead and put Baxter Stockman here. Like Shredder's confronting him and Shredder has all his goons behind him. So let's put Bebop and Rocksteady, and we'll put Leatherhead up here too. Let's go ahead and put, I don't know, let's put Bebop down here because that's where his wanted poster is. Although it doesn't really make any sense because Rocksteady's wanted poster is right here behind the TV. You can see it right there. I don't want Rocksteady in the living room. Let's put both these guys down here, like they infiltrated the sewer. They're walking around the sewer, they're looking for the turtles. Secret lair. Wait, does this fit in here? Hey, look at that. Look, the van actually fits inside here, just like that. Oh, that's really cool. What was the one that came with it? I think it was to do with the Leonardo with the pizza, right? Let's put Donatello. Yeah, look at that. Let's park this in here for display purposes, and then, I don't know, let's put some turtles in here. Actually, I wish I had more of these toy versions. Those look so much better than the others. We don't have Raphael yet. Let's put Raphael in the kitchen on this red checkered rug. Well, actually, we'll put the pizza-eating Leonardo in here, too, because he's eating a piece of pizza in the kitchen. That's where I like to eat pizza, you know, standing over the sink, actually. So I was going to do the pizza's cold because, you know, nobody uses a microwave anymore, and I don't see an air fryer. And then Michelangelo, I don't know, we'll put him up here because he's practicing, right? Actually, we'll put both these guys up here, so we have two Leonardos in one room, right? And then up here, again, street level, right? Let's say that maybe she's down here. She is holding a microphone, I think, or a camera, and these folks have infiltrated the sewer layer through that hole right there. Let's put Baxter Stockman down here, because that's where the broken canister of TCRI ooze is. And we can actually put Shredder in there, too. And then Leatherhead, we'll make him, like, bringing up the rear in this room, right? Splinter feels a spooky presence, right? He knows these guys infiltrated, right? So he tells Leonardo, and he's like, all right. He goes in through this hole. And he comes out, I don't know, over here, out of this one. And he just, like, knocks everybody out of the way. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let's see if they stay, right? So I'm going to put the villains down here, and I'll keep these guys in here. And then we'll just have some random turtles in the... No. Let's put all four turtles, at least one of all four turtles, into the living room with Splinter. Are they going to fit in there? Look, you can actually balance one on the couch. So I wish I noticed this before. There's an actual really microscopic Phillips head screw that's holding this guy to this base. I wonder if this guy would stand without this plastic base, because that would just make all this look nicer, you know? Like having these guys there's no way Splinter's not going to be able to stand. His feet are gigantic. Everything that I have is in here, and that is 14 Bitty Pops total, and also the turtle van. And watch this, my friends. It all fits in there. Oh, it's banging around like crazy. So the stuff that was in this room went into the living room. The stuff that was in this room also went into the living room. Yay, let's open up and play. There's a van in the living room, right? I don't know. So that's at least cool. At least you could fit this stuff in here. You can actually just kind of use this to hold this stuff, right? Yeah, see, if I put it in here, it's going to float into there. Also, this thing is keyed and notched. You see that little key right there, and then there's a notch here? So that kind of like slaps together, right? Anyways, I guess you could store this stuff in here, but it really floats around a lot. This thing is just so much fun. You know, maybe there was a sinkhole and it fell down to the sewer. I used to go in the sewer, but it was just to like hack phone stuff back in the day. This has been the Toy Box Nostalgia unboxing and review. Super duper close look at the tiny world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Funko, and this is all Bitty Pop related. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make Baxter Stockman drive the wagon, the turtle van, whatever you want to call it. I think it's turtle van. What about April O'Neil? I bet she would look good. Look at that. She does. She looks good driving the turtle van, right? And she could be confronting Baxter Stockman. Meep meep. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, my friends. If you have these and you have them on display, please drop a comment below and just give me your handles for social media. I'd like to check out your toy photographs of this. And I guess up next is going to be the thumbnail image. I'm not sure how I'm going to achieve that, but I'm gonna try my best. Thank you again so much for sticking to the end, my friends, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and have a wonderful weekend. And always remember to grab your cameras and collect and shoot.